If you've seen my content in the past, you'll know I'm a pretty decent piano player. I'm definitely not the best piano player of all time, but I'm also pretty far from the worst. And recently, I've felt like I am plateauing. I feel like I am not getting any better at the instrument, and I've really been trying to isolate why. What is going on with my piano playing that makes me feel like I'm not improving anymore? And I think I've figured out what it is, and in this video, I really want to talk about something really important with your journey of learning piano. So let's just get right into the video. As a little bit of a backstory, I started playing piano when I was about 5 years old. My parents put me into lessons and I just did not want to practice. I didn't want to put in the time. I was a child and all I cared about was soccer and toys, and that's it. And as I grew up, I completely left piano. I switched over to trumpet for the majority of my school years, up all the way through college actually, so I played trumpet forever. And around sophomore year of high school, I got back into piano, and all I wanted to do with learning piano was just learn how to play the piano. I wanted to play the piano well, to the point where if I sat down at the piano, I could just start playing. And I think this is everyone's goal. I think a lot of people really want this kind of aspect of piano playing where they can just sit down and start playing something and it's just nothing. It's nothing to them. They can just play the instrument, and that's all I wanted. And the way I went about doing that was just learning all of my chords first and learning music theory and just getting to the point where I didn't need sheet music at all. I didn't need any technique. I didn't need any scales. None of this boring stuff on the piano. I just got right to the point of playing piano. And for the next 5 or so years, that's all I did, was just play the piano. I just played songs that I thought sounded cool, and I played chord progressions that I thought sounded cool, and I just continued to work on my ear training, and that was it. I got pretty good at the piano. I was able to play very comfortably. But as I started to get to the point where I was trying to learn more complex songs, I realized something really, really important. And this is something that if you are a beginner or intermediate or even an advanced player, you can really take this to heart. I had absolutely no fundamentals on the piano. I could not play a C major scale correctly with the correct finger positions. I was unable to play any scale, actually, correctly. I was severely lacking in my ability to play runs and my ability to read sheet music as a whole. Luckily, I had some background from trumpet playing to read treble clef fine, but my bass clef reading was still absolutely abysmal. And as I started to learn more complex pieces, especially Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2, that's the one I've been working on for a while, I realized there's just these giant gaps in my foundation of piano playing that I just do not have. I never learned how to do any of these things because I never took the time to learn how to play scales. I never took the time to learn how to properly read sheet music and translate it to correct finger positionings on piano. I never took the time to actually learn how to play the piano. All I wanted to do was make the instrument sound nice and have fun with it, which is totally okay. There's nothing wrong with learning an instrument just to be able to play it freely. But at the same time, I feel like because I haven't taken the time to learn scales, and because I haven't taken the time to learn how to properly play with both hands and syncopate correctly and use my fingers correctly, I'm severely limited in what I am able to play on the piano now as a result of my choices from when I started to learn how to play the piano. And I never realized how much of an impact that would have had. You know, when you're starting piano, all you're thinking about is like, man, I just like want to play with 2 hands, or man, I just want to like play the song that I think sounds cool and everything like that. And that's totally okay. Again, there's nothing wrong with that being your inspiration to play piano. But the reason I make this video is because I really want to tell you guys how much of a detriment it is not to actually learn your fundamentals on piano. I have gotten to the point on piano where I know that I am actively limited in what I can play because of my inability to play correctly on the piano, play correct scales, play with correct technique, with correct finger position, everything like that. And I can feel it. I can really feel it in my playing. I can feel my fingers getting tangled when I'm trying to play faster runs. I can feel my inability to read sheet music and translate it to the page correctly. And it's this huge gap I have that's just crazy to me. And it's really becoming apparent now rather than, sooner, because right now I'm starting to take the steps to change that. I have been working on my scales really hard, I've been working on my technique really hard, and I've taken a break from making content on the piano because I feel like as I started making more content for piano, I got into this groove where I didn't actually have to practice anymore. Every time I'd sit down at the piano, it would just be like, to make another video, it would be make this piano cover, and I wouldn't actually be getting better, I would just be staying exactly the same. And I just want to make this video again as a warning and as almost a guide for you guys, is as someone who's really far in their piano journey, if I would have just, when I started with learning my fundamentals of learning how to play scales correctly with both hands, working on left hand technique, working on playing quickly with my left hand, working on reading sheet music, I would be so much better off than where I am right now. And this is coming from someone, again, who can play piano pretty well. I have a lot of people who compliment my piano playing all the time, and that's not the problem. I can play piano fine for what I'm trying to do, but if you're at a point where you feel like you're plateauing, and where I am, where I feel like I'm plateauing, you need to really reaffirm all the way back to square one of like, what are these fundamentals that I think I'm missing in my piano playing? What am I actually missing here? Am I missing, you know, my ability to read well? Am I missing my technique? Is there something that's happening that's making it so I plateau here? And reaffirming that and figuring out what your goals actually are on piano is so important. And I urge you as a beginner or intermediate or even advanced piano player to just take a second to actually think about what you were doing with the instrument, because I promise you will progress so much more if you take the time to actually focus on these errors and work past it. And again, this video is sort of, I don't know, it's kind of a rant. I'm really ranting. That's what I'm doing. But it's more of an explanation of why I haven't been making as many piano videos, is because I feel like as I continue to make a lot of these videos without focusing on my technique, I'm just gonna continue to stay exactly where I am. I'm not gonna progress anywhere. And it's really important for me to want to talk about this as someone who, again, I've spent the years playing piano. I've spent the time to continue to improve and to get better and everything like that. And I wish somebody would have been more stern with me about this at the beginning, because when I started playing, like, there's so many of these tutorials online that are just like, oh yeah, you can learn piano so fast and easy and quickly. And these like get rich quick schemes for piano, and these like immediately learn this element of piano, you'll just be so much better super fast. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good at all. And even I've made content that's like, do these 3 things and you'll be epic at piano. And like, I agree with the video that I made, but at the same time, if you're skipping over fundamentals in order to get to this point where you can play super well as fast as possible, I don't think that's a good thing. And I want to make sure in the future with my content especially, and as just a warning to everyone else, that you need to focus on these fundamentals to get better at playing the piano. It has to happen at some point, or else you're always going to be in this element of like, I'm missing something. I feel like I'm unable to play this section well because I'm just lacking these fundamentals on piano just because I want to learn things too quickly. So if you have any takeaway from this video, it's 2 really important things, 2 big things here, okay? Number 1, set your goals for making piano. Figure out what you're actually trying to do. Don't just stay stagnant and just like continue to just be hammering out on it. Figure out what you're trying to do. The second really important thing is, with these goals that you are setting, figure out what you need to do to actually achieve them. Take it step by step. If you feel like, wow, I suck at reading sheet music, take a lot of time to learn how to read sheet music. If you feel like your left hand is really slow, take a lot of time to figure out how to play fast with your left hand. Because I promise, 5 years down the line, when you're at the point where you're like, man, I'm playing super well and everything, you're going to thank yourself for actually taking the time to learn things in the right order and have the right foundation and have the right building blocks and everything like that. And I just want to make this video as like a fair warning of like, this is just, you got to do this. I promise you got to do this. It'll be so much better. You're not going to end up in the boat I'm in, where I can play very well, but there's just like elements that I just absolutely suck at for some reason. Like, I have no excuse for being bad at some of these things. Like, I just need to lock in and do better. Anyway, that's just a little explanation again of like why I haven't been posting as much piano content, why I'm taking a little bit of a break from all of that. And I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a good explanation for everything, and a good piece of advice I can bestow upon y'all, because I think it is super important. I think it is so important, and I wish someone just hammered it into my brain sooner that that's what you got to be doing. And that's really the secret to getting good at piano quickly, is learning everything in order and smart. Like, actually be efficient with what you're doing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more regular content in the video. I've been making a lot of gaming videos. I might not be the funniest, but I'm pretty good at video games, so like, you gotta watch those, because like, I'm cracked. Low-key, I'm like this. Bah, 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 bah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys need anything. I will see you all in the next video. See you guys.